Albert Einstein is a name that instantly evokes images of brilliance, eccentric hair, and the symbol of human intellect. Yet, behind the legend lies a lesser-known truth. Einstein's journey was built not just on flashes of genius, but on a foundation of repeated failures, rejections, and mistakes. The road that led him to rewrite the laws of physics was filled with moments of doubt, frustration, and disappointment. Unlike many child prodigies who excelled effortlessly, Einstein stumbled repeatedly, not because he lacked intelligence, but because he thought differently. His life shows us that the true measure of genius is not in never failing, but in the courage to fail, learn, and continue asking questions when others stop. In this documentary, we'll uncover the hidden legacy of Einstein's failures, the lessons, rejections, and wrong turns that ultimately changed the course of human history. Einstein's first major failure came early. At the age of 16, he applied to the prestigious Swiss Federal Polytechnic School in Zurich, now ETH Zurich. He passed the math and science sections with ease, but failed miserably in languages, history, and social studies. The result, rejection. For a young man with such obvious talent, it was a harsh blow. But the real issue wasn't knowledge, it was conformity. Einstein disliked the rigid, memorization-heavy education system that rewarded obedience rather than creativity. He often clashed with teachers, who labeled him as lazy and disrespectful. Yet outside the classroom, his curiosity flourished. He devoured physics books on his own and engaged in long debates about philosophy and science. This early clash with authority taught him a critical lesson: that innovation requires independence of thought. His inability to fit into traditional academia became the seed of his revolutionary perspective. The failure that once branded him an underachiever would later free him to question everything others accepted as truth. After completing his studies, Einstein expected to become a university assistant, a typical next step for a young physicist, but none of his professors recommended him. For 2 painful years, he struggled to find work, surviving on odd tutoring jobs. Eventually, through a friend's help, he found a job at the Swiss Patent Office in Bern evaluating inventions. It was not the life he had imagined. Yet, this apparent failure turned into an unexpected gift. The repetitive but quiet nature of the job gave him time to think. Free from academic politics and expectations, Einstein began developing ideas that would change physics forever. In 1905, known as his Annus Mirabilis or Miracle Year, he published 4 papers on the photoelectric effect, Brownian motion, special relativity, and mass energy equivalence, the famous E equals mc2. These papers collectively transformed science's understanding of light, matter, and time itself. Ironically, had Einstein succeeded in academia, he might have been too busy to create the theories that reshaped the universe. Einstein's groundbreaking theories were not immediately celebrated. Many in the scientific community rejected them outright. His ideas about the relativity of time and space seemed absurd to those grounded in Newtonian certainty. Some journals refused to publish his papers, others dismissed them as mathematical tricks. For years, Einstein found himself isolated, working without recognition. Yet, he remained undeterred. He refined his equations, sought experimental validation, and defended his reasoning with calm persistence. When, in 1919, British astronomer Arthur Eddington's expedition confirmed Einstein's prediction that gravity could bend light, the world finally took notice. Overnight, the once obscure patent clerk became a global celebrity. The man whose ideas were once rejected now defined the frontiers of science. His story reminds us that innovation often begins as heresy, and that persistence, not approval, is the true measure of belief in one's vision. By the 1920s, Einstein had become the most famous scientist in the world. But fame brought a new kind of failure, the failure to adapt to a changing paradigm. The rise of quantum mechanics introduced a universe ruled by probability rather than certainty. To Einstein, this was philosophical chaos. He famously declared, "God does not play dice with the universe." His debates with Niels Bohr became legendary, 2 intellectual titans arguing over the nature of reality itself. Einstein constructed clever thought experiments to challenge quantum theory, but Bohr's probabilistic view ultimately prevailed. Yet, Einstein's dissent wasn't wasted. His criticisms forced quantum physicists to refine their ideas, leading to the development of quantum entanglement and deeper insights into the limits of observation. Einstein's so-called failure became a productive tension, a reminder that even disagreement can drive science forward. It takes courage to stand by your convictions, even when the world believes you're wrong. Einstein's greatest scientific failure, and perhaps his most admirable, was his obsessive pursuit of a unified field theory. After reshaping our understanding of gravity and energy, he sought a single framework that could connect every force in nature. For 3 decades, he worked in near isolation, scribbling equations in notebooks, refusing to accept the new quantum framework that dominated physics. Younger scientists moved on, considering him a relic of a bygone era. But Einstein persisted, not out of stubbornness alone, but from a deep belief that nature must be coherent and elegant. He never found the theory he sought, yet his intuition inspired generations. The dream of unification lives on today in string theory, loop quantum gravity, and the search for a theory of everything. Sometimes, a failure that spans a lifetime becomes the foundation for discoveries yet to come. Einstein didn't reach the finish line, but he drew the map others would follow. Beyond his scientific work, Einstein faced deep personal challenges. His intense focus often strained his family relationships. His first marriage to Milva Merrick, a brilliant physicist in her own right, ended painfully. Letters reveal tension, guilt, and emotional distance. Later in life, he found comfort in music, sailing, and close friendships, but he remained something of a loner. Meanwhile, his fame grew uncontrollably. Newspapers around the world featured him as a modern prophet of knowledge. He became a symbol of peace, even as he struggled privately with depression and self-doubt. He spoke out against war, racism, and nationalism, often at the risk of political backlash. Despite his personal imperfections, his moral courage shone brightly. Einstein's humanity, his empathy, humor, and vulnerability made him relatable. The very man who failed exams and doubted himself became a voice for truth in a turbulent century. Einstein's story isn't just about the triumphs of intellect, it's about the quiet power of perseverance. His failures were not interruptions on the road to success, they were the road itself. Every rejection pushed him to think differently. Every unanswered question ignited a deeper curiosity. From a failed exam to a rejected paper, from being mocked for relativity to dying with unfinished theories, Einstein's journey proves that failure, when met with reflection and courage, can be transformed into progress. His legacy endures not only in equations, but in attitude, a reminder that discovery belongs to those who dare to be wrong on their way to being right. In a world obsessed with perfection, Einstein teaches us that the most valuable breakthroughs often begin with a mistake, a question, or a dream no one else understands. That is his hidden legacy, the failure that shaped history itself.